Okay, I'm back. I'm semi-refreshed. I have almost no voice because, as everybody knows, when you go to a conference, you end up catching something, right? But it's time for a look back at the highlights of WPPI 2018 on this special episode of Behind the Shot. Welcome to this special episode of Behind the Shot, a look back at the highlights of WPPI 2018 in Las Vegas. I got back from WPPI last week, had an absolutely great time. I did catch something. You may hear my voice go in and out during this. I'll do my best to make it work. But overall, it was a really good WPPI. I met some new friends, saw some old friends. Craig Colvin, Renee Robin, old TWiP people. Also, Christopher Berry was there. My buddy Troy Miller was there. I finally got to meet Kenna Klosterman live and in person. That was great. She's a recent guest on my show. Also got to see Scott Bourne, Richard Harrington, and a bunch of other great photographers. Now, if you've never been to WPPI, let me kind of give you a summary. It's a conference that happens in Vegas each and every year. And for years, it was at the MGM Grand. Last year, it went to the convention center. And I know a lot of people said to me they didn't enjoy it at the convention center and they weren't going to go back this year. I have to tell you, if you did not go because of that this year, you may have made a mistake. They moved it to Mandalay Bay Convention Center. And I've got to tell you, they pulled it off really well. The Expo was great. The people were great. The organization was great. Really, WPPI kind of nailed it this year, and you missed out if you didn't go. But I'm going to try and give you kind of a summary of some of the things that I saw, some of the things that I learned, what I enjoyed, what I didn't enjoy. Actually, now that I think about it, there's not much I didn't enjoy. By the way, Vegas, the food. If you don't go for anything else, go for the food. Fantastic food. So let's head through WPPI. I went out a day or so early and had a great time in Vegas and then went to the conference. At the conference, one of the things I got to do this year, the first night, Sunday night, was go to a special presentation from Skylum. Now, Skylum software is formerly MacFun. You may know the name MacFun. The Creative Kit, Tonality, Aurora, all of these great products that come out of MacFun, right? I'm a big MacFun user. They're installed on the machine I'm looking at right now. But they've come out with Luminar 2018. And they gave us a look at Luminar 2018. We also talked about Aurora HDR a little bit as well, which if you're not familiar with, watch the episode I did with Trey Ratcliffe because he uses Aurora HDR. It's partially his product. I think he was a consultant actually on the product, but great software, right? But they also gave us a sneak peek. They are coming out with a DAM, otherwise known as a digital asset manager, which is something I think is sadly lacking in our industry, especially on the Mac. But really, unless you're a big enterprise-wide corporation, there aren't many great DAMs out there, digital asset managers, but they are coming out with one. They gave us a sneak peek at one. The meeting was actually at Kiss Mini Golf over at the Rio Casino, which was fun in and of itself. It was a great event. Scott Bourne got up and did some speaking about the products and where they want to go. Again, they used to be called MacFun. But now their software is available on the Windows platform. So they've changed the name to Skylum. And with Skylum, they are really going after Adobe head to head. They are willing to walk up to Adobe, look at them in the face, and say, I'm going to take you down. And they're trying to do that. Now, I'm an Aurora fan. I'm a fan of Tonality and some of their other products. The Luminar I had not used a lot. I've played with it a good amount at this point. And so far, here's what I like. No software is perfect, right? But sometimes you see a product and more importantly, you meet a team of people. On this team, they've got Vanelli, they've got Richard Harrington, they've got Scott Bourne, they've got this fantastic family of photographers that are involved in this product. And that's the thing that struck me. I love dealing with companies that have a passion about what they do. And this is photography software, at least it seems to me. This is photography software that is heavily influenced by actual working photographers, not just engineers. Now, is it perfect yet? This is the second iteration of Luminar, and there are some things that I found that aren't great for me in my workflow yet. There are some other things I found that will make me refer this software to family and friends and other photographers of mine that aren't software geeks like me. I'm a network engineer by trade, so I love toys. There are a number of things in Luminar 2018 that for an average photographer are going to be huge. You're going to love this software if you're in that world, right? And if you're on Mac or Windows, either way. When the DAM comes out later this year, the Digital Asset Manager, which should come out earlier on the Mac than it does for Windows for a number of different logistical reasons from a programming point of view, is what I understand. It could actually make this product go head-to-head with Adobe Lightroom. Now, it may not right away. I want to be clear on that. I haven't played with the product, so I don't know yet. But again, hearing them talk, these are guys who really honestly believe that they can go head-to-head with Adobe, which almost everybody I know right now is unhappy with Lightroom and Photoshop. These people at Skylum Software think that they can go head-to-head with Adobe and beat them. And it's going to be really exciting to watch them. So that's the first thing that happened. And again, I highly recommend you take a look. You can get demos of all of these. Download the demos. Take a look at Aurora HDR 2018. Take a look at Luminar 2018 and watch for the Digital Asset Manager. I think it might be able to change your workflow for the better, right? So let's move on. The other thing that I got to do is I got to talk to Canon. Now, Canon recently announced a couple of new products. One of them is their new mirrorless camera, and then the other one is a new flash that they released. Now, the mirrorless camera is intriguing to me, and we'll get into why. I've got a video that I recorded on the show floor. The flash, when I went to talk to the people at Canon, okay, hopefully they're not watching this. When I went to talk to the people at Canon, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, this is a gimmick. This is crazy, right? It's a flash, and the head moves itself. It uses artificial intelligence to bounce the light for you rather than you having to figure it out. Well, see, I already know bounce flash. And as I talked to them, it became clear to me that there are a number of people out there that are good photographers but afraid of getting into flash or speed lights. And this is a product that very well may be a perfect entry-level flash for intermediate and advanced amateurs or beginning intermediate professional photographers that for some reason or another have never really, taken that dive into artificial light. And it could teach somebody. The key to this flash is the series it's in, right? There's the 200, the 400, the 500, and the 600 series Canon flashes. This is a 400 series flash, which immediately to me said, wait a minute, Steve, rethink this. Don't be so critical on it because they're not aiming at the pros with this, or it would be a 600 flash, right? It doesn't have radio transmission. It's not an RT flash. It's an optical trigger only, or of course you can use your own remote triggers, but built in, it doesn't have radio triggering. By the time I was done talking to them, there were a couple things on this flash that really did stick out to me. Number one, for a beginner with flash, once you let it take 2 pre-flashes and figure out where it's going to point, any way you turn the camera, it will try to maintain it. So if you're shooting horizontal and it figures out the perfect bounce for you using artificial intelligence and you turn your camera into portrait mode, that flash will adjust itself to try and get the same bounce. It's actually kind of an intriguing idea. Again, maybe gimmicky for pros and people that know flash. But if you're a beginner and have never, tried on-camera flash before, I don't know. This could be interesting. Let's take a look at the video on this one.
Hey again, it's Steve Brazel from the Behind the Shot podcast. Thanks for joining me. I'm here at WPPI 2018, and I'm talking to some friends of mine from Canon. We're talking about 2 recent announcements that they did. The new 400 series flash that has AI built into the flash. We'll talk about that a little bit. Then we're going to talk about their new mirrorless camera. So let's talk about the flash first of all. So the flash itself is a 470EX-KI, correct? Explain to me, if you would, kind of the idea of the AI.
Sure. So AI is auto-intelligent bounce. What that means is that we have a flash that's able to go and actually take a subject reading, take a ceiling height reading, and actually triangulate those two readings to give you the correct bounce angle to get better image quality.
So it's doing a pre-flash in both directions.
So depending on how you set this up, and there's 3 different modes for different experiences. You're pretty much going to have it flash forward, flash toward the ceiling, and it'll actually get a correct bounce angle. At that point, in full auto,
this is the part I like. Watch this.
It'll restore that angle.
So no matter what you do to that camera right now, it's going to try and restore what it needs for correct bounce. Right. Which is going to give you that more off-camera flash type look. So in comparison to the other 400s, the other 430, or as you move up to the 600s, where does this land as far as capabilities in the line?
So as far as guide number goes, it's a 47-meter guide number, approximately 154 feet. Okay. As far as what our rating is at ISO 100. Overall, when you look at what the capabilities of this is the first and only flash on the entire market that has the auto-intelligent bounce capability. But at the same time, if you're a more advanced shooter, you do have the 430EX Mark III and 600 series flashes that both have RT capability and sending capabilities. This particular flash will only be an IR receiver.
Okay. So there is no radio in this?
No, sir.
So that brings up a question you may or may not know the answer to. I use the 600s myself. I own a number of 600s. Are they intending to come out with one of these that's an RT in your knowledge?
I do not have any information on that at this time, but
because that would be kind of a neat thing to in my head I'm picturing this mounted somewhere where you could remotely say, the lighting has changed, check everything else lightroom-wise, readjust yourself, recalibrate that flash, and let me trigger you wirelessly without optic. That would be absolutely awesome. So what does that run?
Currently the retail price of this is $399.
Okay, so much cheaper than a 500 or a 600 series flash. And you and I talked, in the green room as it were, about this. Your basic target, because you've got multiple series of flashes, right? If you're a working wedding pro, generally you might be using the 600 series. Who's your target market for this? In other words, if you were to have a PR release on this that said this is the perfect flash for this shooter, how does it?
Well, there's several different people that benefit from this. Everybody from that step-up user, the families that are out there trying to get a good photo of Johnny Will out of Canon. Anybody that's pretty much shooting indoors. It might be everybody from that beginner, the advanced amateur, all the way to a pro or semi-pro. Anybody that might be, being that we're at WPPI 2018, might be a second shooter, working in, ceilings. They don't have the main light that's off camera. In that situation, you're pretty much bounce flashing. It's a lot of different situations where you're pretty much constantly going from that horizontal to vertical composition and just trying to get the best out of the flash.
And I can also see pros using this because let's be honest, there's a lot of pros who are trying to learn flash and dabble in flash, and they may not understand the concepts of a bounce flash, right? And this is going to help them. Once you change that,
once you take a look at what our findings have been, is that either people have a capable camera, 5D Mark III, 5D Mark IV, and they're cranking the ISO, or it's an entry-level user and they're using a pop-up flash to get that direct on camera harsh look.
Right.
And it's not always the best look ever built in flash. So in this situation, for that person that either has bounce flash indirectly or doesn't know about bounce flash, it's doing all the work for you.
Yeah, it's going to introduce a new level. So that's the new flash. But Canon also announced a new mirrorless camera. I've got Robert over here. He's going to bring the camera in. Are you going to do the camera too? Sure. Robert's our traffic control today. So that works out really, really well. So tell me a little bit about the new mirrorless camera. It's smaller than I thought it was going to be.
So this is the new M50. So this is part of the M series lineup. It's an APS-C size sensor. Very, very fancy. It has an electronic viewfinder as well. The great part about it is that for those people that want to go and be traveling, don't close it, the screen's not going to get impacted. If I go out to a concert, hold the camera above my head, I can get that concert shot. I can get a low angle shot as well. On top of that, it's just a fairly nice package. This particular camera, it's got a little bit of everything. It's got touch and drag autofocus with the pixel. So pretty much you can have your eye into the viewfinder, autofocus points are your
you can be viewing through the viewfinder, but dragging the focus on the screen at the same time and see it in the viewfinder?
Correct.
Okay.
All right. So,
Hold on a second. You're going to want to see this, because that's really actually kind of cool. What are we looking at as far as megapixel and etc.? What are the specs?
So the APS-C size sensor,
Okay.
24.1 megapixels.
Okay.
It's a very good resolution. It's got a brand new Titch 8 processor.
Yeah, I heard about that. You know what? I saw a rumor on this camera that there was also now a CR3 RAW file. Is that true?
CR3.
What's the difference in the new RAW?
So there are two different RAW formats.
Canon Rumors had that, by the way. If you're not a Canon Rumors follower, you should be.
So there's two different RAW modes.
Okay.
So as far as image quality, prior we had CR2. You had a full-size RAW, a medium-size RAW, and then a small RAW.
Okay.
At this point, what we have is a full-size RAW, which will be RAW RAW, and then there will be a C RAW. So it would be compact RAW.
Okay, so it's a compressed RAW.
Compact RAW.
Okay.
And what we're going to talk about is that on both models, RAW and C RAW, you're going to get a 6,000 by 4,000 size image.
It's not a smaller file.
Not a smaller file, so we're not giving you less resolution, we're not giving you less pixels.
Okay. And what's the price point for this guy?
So body only is about $779. As it sits right there with the 15 to 45 millimeter lens, which is roughly a 24 to 72 millimeter, 35 turns. That'll be $899. We have a
With the lens, $899.
with the lens. There's also a video creator kit that'll have a Rode shotgun mic up on top, SD card as well, it's included. That'll be $999. And then there's a 2-lens kit that's available as well, which is about $1249.
Here's one, because I know Sony shooters that I know complain about this. Battery life. Any idea what you get shot-wise on the battery life?
It's roughly, depending on what you're using, viewfinder or LCD, roughly between 300 and 400 shots.
So, beautiful gear from Canon. We've got the new camera, we've got the new flash. Thank you guys so much for showing it to us, man. I appreciate you coming out. Thank you for blocking traffic. Couldn't have done it without you. So, you can check out the new camera stuff pretty much at any store you want to go to, either a brick and mortar, online, B&H, Adorama, whatever you're looking for. But check out the new mirrorless. I gotta tell you, when I walked in, I was thinking this was going to be a little awkward for me. I shoot DSLRs. This is actually really, really comfortable in my hand. I'm a little surprised by that. Specs look really, really good. Try it out. That, if you're new to flash and trying to learn light, that flash, the 470EX AI, is going to be an interesting way for you to learn more about the properties of light and bounce flash and utilize it if you're doing it rare and you don't want to spend the time learning. It's going to be a great way for you to introduce yourself to light a little bit. So again, for the Behind the Shot podcast, I'm Steve Brazel. Thanks for stopping by at WPPI 2018. We'll see you soon.
So again, take a look at the new Canon products. I think they're targeted at the right market. They're not for everybody, but they are a little bit late to the mirrorless game, but it's a very promising looking camera. It has some features on it that are kind of cool, right? So you might want to look at it. It's also a little hair bit smaller than the Sony products. So you might want to look at that. As far as the flash is concerned, I've already given you my thoughts on that. I think that it actually has potential considering the market that it's aimed at. Now, the other place that I went and looked was something that actually I think is going to be a huge thing for photographers, Sigma. Sigma's Art Series lenses are changing the landscape of third-party lenses for people's camera bodies, right? So if you're a Canon or a Nikon shooter, you've been able to get these amazing quality Sigma Art Series lenses, and they've released both their new wide-angle lens that's rectilinear, and they also just announced last week that they are releasing their Prime Art Series lenses, not the zooms, but their Prime Art Series lenses for Sony mount. No more Metabones adapters. If you're a Sony shooter, you can use these amazing Sigma Art Series lenses right on your camera and get all the benefits of it. I went and talked to them again, showroom floor noise. Bear with me on this one. I'm doing what I can. But let's take a listen.
Oh, hey again, this is Steve Brazel from the Behind the Shot podcast. Thanks for joining me. I'm here at WPPI 2018. I'm at the Sigma booth, which is becoming some of my favorite lenses out here with the art lenses. I'm with Jared from Sigma. How you doing? they had some new announcements last night I want to talk about. Why don't you do this? Just tell us what those new announcements were.
Sure. So it's kind of two series of announcements. The first one was very highly anticipated Sigma Sony full-frame mount lenses. So we announced 9, but are launching 7. 7 lenses that are already existing in our art line: 14, 20, 24, 35, 50, 85, and 135.
So it's only primes, no zooms.
Only primes right now. And those we're going to start releasing those in a few months. So we're going to have those in the Canon, Nikon, and Sony full-frame E-mount. And then they also, at the same time, announced 2 new lenses in our art series: the 105 1.4 and a 70mm 2.8 macro.
So then also you announced recently, and I think for all the mounts, except maybe the Sony, because the Sony you're focusing on the primes, is the new wide angle that you've got.
Right.
14 to 24, 2.8.
Yes.
Which I played with a little bit with Jared yesterday. And I'm going to say right now, for me, I shoot with a Sigma 15mm right now when I do shows. And this brand new 14 to 24 Sigma looks really interesting to me. It's 2.8. I got to say, it's built solid.
It is.
It's one of the most solid ultra wides that I've seen, but I found out one thing. I said to Jared yesterday, what is the fisheye effect on this? And your answer was
It's rectilinear.
it's a rectilinear 14 to 24 art lens, Sigma art lens, based on what's been announced yesterday in the new 14 to 24 Sigma Prime Art Series lenses for Sony mount. No longer need an adapter. Think about that for a minute if you're a Sony shooter. So make sure if you're at WPPI, come check them out. Otherwise, head to the website, sigma.com, right?
Correct.
Head to sigma.com, check out some of their lenses. Jared, thanks for joining me.
Oh, correction on that, sigmaphoto.com.
Sigmaphoto.com. I'll edit it and I'll put text on the screen. All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right.
Now, the truth is, I've always been one to shoot the actual Canon lenses and never really had any interest in third-party lenses. But I've got to say, now when I go to a show and I see people with these Sigma Art Series lenses, I actually wish that I had them. I'm going to have to end up getting some of these things at some point or another. So, some of the other highlights of WPPI to me. I always love going by the Mindshift Gear and Think Tank booth. They are my favorite bags, hands down. In fact, pretty much my favorite accessory company from a bag, backpack, belt system point of view. I love Think Tank gear. But then this happened. Right next to Think Tank was the Spyder camera holster company. And I stopped by to talk to Shai at that booth, and before I did, I was using my DJI Osmo to film things. And as I'm filming, he reaches out with this strap and starts to put it around the handle of my Osmo, and it allows you to hang it on their Spyder camera holster gear. Now, I have to say, all week long, going around WPPI with my DJI Osmo, the Osmo Mobile, I had to carry it in a backpack or in my hand. As soon as he did that, I kind of went, wait a minute. I'm doing this wrong. So I went back and I spent some time talking to Shai. Now, a lot of my friends, if you're in TWiP Pro or if you watch any of the critiques that we've done here at the TWiP Network with Troy Miller, Troy lives on Spyder camera holster gear. He does weddings for a living, and he only uses Spyder camera holster gear for carrying stuff. In fact, if I go to lunch with him and he doesn't have a camera, he will inevitably have a clip on his belt from Spyder camera holster. That's how much he loves it. My buddy Adam L. Macias is an ambassador for the company. So Shai there gave me some stuff to look at and kind of to think about and try and use. I wanted to show you really quick. And then I actually talked to Shai, and I've got that video we'll look at in a second. This is the actual camera strap. This straps on your camera so that you can hold your camera and have it nice and secure and have it not fall off. Because when you're using Spyder camera holster gear, there's no strap around your neck. They're belt clips. So let me give you an idea how this works. First of all, there's a plate. The plate goes on your camera. This is a DSLR plate. And look at this little ball here, right? This is the mirrorless version of that plate if you have a smaller mirrorless camera. And if you have already, like I do, an L bracket or an Arca Swiss plate from Really Right Stuff or whatever on your camera, they thought of everything. They made this thing. This actually screws on to your Arca Swiss plate and gives you one of those little balls here. Makes it really, really easy. Now, What does that ball and clip do for you? Well, if you want a big camera gear, they make belts that have clips on them, and you can get them in a 1 or a 2 camera scenario. And the clips that are on the belt, I'm just going to show you I've got the whole belt actually down here, but I'm just going to show you the clip from it. This is the clip that's on the belt, and it has a little lever here for locking in and out. This is the DSLR version, or whatever the case might be, bigger camera type version, or you're using a lens like a 70-200 that has a shoe mount. They actually have an attachment for the shoe mount, so you can hang the camera from the shoe mount too. This is the mirrorless version, and I actually like this. It just clips on your belt. And when you clip it on your belt, here's what happens. I'll use the mirrorless plate to kind of show you. You put the camera in and drop it and just let it hang there. Let me get it to where you can see it. And that's it. When you want it out, you lift it out. Drop it in. This lever right here lets you actually lock it so it doesn't come out. Flip of your finger and it's out. It is so simple. And so you have that strap on, you slide your hand in the strap, you pull the camera out, boom, you're ready to go. It's so simple. And they've got some new stuff coming out. They've got clips that you can use to carry flashes on a belt. They have an entire belt system. They have clips that you can use for that. They have the thing like he showed me that is in development for mounting, a GoPro handle, or the DJI Osmo that I was using. And then he showed me this. Now, when I first saw this, it didn't make sense to me. And it's really, really strong. This stuff is engineered like no camera gear this is engineered better than my cameras. I'm not gonna lie. It is built crazy strong. So I'm looking at this thing as he hands it to me. And this is a mount for a strap on a backpack. Now think about this for a minute. Strap on a backpack. This is a standard GoPro mount that's in there. Same thing. It has a little lever, and then I can sit there and I can take this out. I can put a water bottle in there. I can put all different kinds of clips and mounts inside this thing. This takes a standard GoPro mount, and you can mount your GoPro in there on the strap for your backpack. So then what is the pad for in this Velcro strap right here? Here's the deal. If you have a small mirrorless camera that uses this little teeny mirrorless plate, you can actually have a mount in here, that same one that I said clips on your belt, right? This little one here. This little clip can actually clip on there as well. And you can take your mirrorless camera and hang it there. So what is this for? The lens and body. This Velcro undoes and wraps around the lens to keep it from bouncing around. I'm serious. Somebody is doing some thinking. Somebody isn't sleeping at night and they're sitting at home with a pad of paper going, what if I did this? I can see it happening right now. It's a fascinating product. So again, I don't want to speak for it. You should try it. But let's just see what they have to say about their gear. I stopped by the booth. I talked to Shai for a little bit. Again, we've got the noise on the show floor. I apologize to Shai and the Spyder camera holster people for the bad audio quality on the videos from WPPI, but that floor was really noisy. So I've engineered the audio a little bit. I'm trying to make it better for you to hear, but listen to it, hear what they have to say, try their gear. I'll be back in just a second.
Hey again, welcome back to WPPI 2018. I'm Steve Brazel with the Behind the Shot podcast. I'm here with Shai from Spyder Holster. You need to see some of this stuff. I have friends who literally live on Spyder Holster stuff. So let's talk a little bit about your products. First of all, Spyder Holster is how do you describe the company? It's camera and accessory attachments?
Yeah, that's exactly it. So it's an alternative way to carry your camera. So traditionally what you carry a camera, you carry it from the neck, and you have the swing of traditional straps. So as professional photographers, we really did not like that. So we created an alternative system that actually allows you to carry everything you need to shoot with, ergonomically, right from your hip.
Without any weight on your shoulder, which is absolutely critical to me, the weight on the shoulder part, because when I wear a camera for a long time during the day, I end up with neck pain, I end up with shoulder pain. Let's start with the camera clip first. Make sure you're close enough so the mic catches this. So we've got the belt clip. Explain the belt clip.
Right, so basically we have a holster here. So the holster is attached to a belt. The only reason for the belt is because most professional photographers would like to actually attach other items to the belts. So it's an ergonomic way to actually carry all that stuff and actually manage it in a way that allows you to operate very quickly and at the same time, feel good about what you're doing. So your upper body is not engaged at all in anything you're carrying. It's really from the waist down. So you have a holster here.
Right.
The holster has a lock.
That was going to be one of my questions was, how do you secure the thing in there?
Right.
What if somebody doesn't want, like you have the whole pad under the camera here, right? Come down and catch this. You've got this whole pad going around underneath the camera.
Right.
What if somebody doesn't want this whole pad part? They just want the hook.
They can just take the holster by itself, and the holster by itself threads into a regular belt.
Okay, so that works.
So that's the Pro system. Most of the time you'll see the Pro system attached to the belt just because of the weights and because of the use of the people. Most people will just call it the belt. They don't even call it a holster.
Right.
Because it attached to the belt. So you have a lock system, so if you want it locked completely, that's fine. The thing that's unique about Spyder is that it allows you to still have an open lock. Right now it's a free access, and at the same time it's designed in a way
it's not going to come out accidentally.
It's not going to come out accidentally. So when you turn it, that's where you actually get to release the camera. So in turn, I can do whatever I need to do right now in whatever form that I want without locking and still have my camera.
Okay, so a couple other products. So first of all, and you do have double systems, because I know a lot of people who shoot with two.
Every single could be made into what we call a dual cam system, and I'm a wedding photographer. I always go with a dual cam system because I have my 70 to 200 here, and then my 24 to 70 lens right here, and I'm just
ready to go.
Ready to go.
So here's the thing, though, is you're grabbing that. Now, because you don't have it around your neck or your shoulder, I envision the danger of dropping it.
Correct.
You have a hand strap. You don't have it on here.
No. But it's these. Yeah.
I'll just grab them.
Right.
Real TV.
So, So the hand straps, we have a variety of hand straps. They're phenomenal, really comfortable, super ergonomic hand straps. And that really allows people to relax, and have like an extra security when they hold it in their hand. If they're getting bumped or anything like that would absolutely save them.
And I use these, and I will tell you the padding on them is actually really nice, which is a big thing for me because I find myself sometimes not wanting to hook it, and I'm just standing there with the camera at my side. The weight on your hand you don't really notice because they're padded. So you've got some other things here. You've got on the belt, you've got flashes, you've got pouches.
Right, so we have here sort of what we call the MCO, a memory card organizer. What that allows you to do is actually intelligently switch your cards. So we have a table here that we're using here. So if I want to change my card right now,
I didn't know about this.
Yeah, I put the card that I need to. Then it's much safer right now, and actually now I have both my hands, so I can actually
you reverse them when they're full, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Cell phone if you need to, or a battery if needs to. And then here I just ran out of mine, but these are business cards as well. And if you have any
outside pocket for whatever glasses, whatever, right?
Exactly. This actually has an elastic back, so you can put it in any position anywhere on the belt. I just like it on the front because it's my memory card. That's really the most important thing for me. Next up is a small clip. We call it a Spyder monkey.
You know what that reminds me of? The old cell phone clips.
It is. It is the old cell phone clips. It's exactly what we did. It's better materials, and it's heck of a lot stronger than they used to be. And then we have a peel and stick tab. So this is a 3M adhesive. Very, very, very durable, very strong. This will not go away for you.
Wait a minute, it's 3M. That means you can also remove it without damaging this if you want. Oh, that's nice.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that slides, as soon as that slides in here, it locks.
Right.
So now your item is locked, and you can release it with one finger. So, after you did it for about 5 minutes, it's very easy to just hang your flash on. So if you're shooting and you don't know if you need your flash or whatever, you want to carry an extra item, then you can shoot. Oh, I need my flash. I'm putting it right here. Load it on.
My problem's going to be I'm going to pull it off of that and flash back, and I'm going to hold it up and start making a phone call. So let's talk about one other thing you've got on your backpack here, which I find interesting.
Right.
On the backpack, he's got a clip on his strap. So
right.
Let's talk about what that is.
All right, so this is a regular backpack. We don't make them ourselves. This is just a regular, traditional backpack. And basically we have an adapter here that allows you to attach a holster to a vertical strap. So it's very simple. It has teeth in the back and it connects via Velcro. So this is just sitting there, just like so. And then there is another part that comes on top of it. Basically hooks on and
okay, and I'm going to say that I got to interject this. I played with this yesterday, and my first thought was, I can see that coming out. I needed 2 hands and a little bit of strength to actually get that thing loose. This thing's solid as a rock.
right, so you really have to do it one, and that's the only way to get it off. So we thought about this hard, and this is a good, it's a good product.
And that is the one without the pad. That's the normal belt clip.
Right, so this is really the offering, this meaning the Spyder Pro is the offering for professional, big cameras, big equipment. This is more for either people on the go, you have a camera with really a light lens. That's a good option for you. It's called a Spyder Light holster, and the Spyder Light holster is optimized. It has a nice little spring clip. It's optimized to go on a regular belt, so it can go on anyone's belt, and then you can carry your camera, especially if it's mirrorless or light DSLR. You can carry it all day long on your own belt, and you don't need the whole fanfare of the big belt. Also, we wanted to make it more useful, so it actually slides right into here and locks. So you're able to actually take your camera for a walk if you want.
Oh, that's what that's for. I was wondering what the Velcro was.
So, yeah, so basically, you have an elastic
so it
gear.
doesn't swing around and bounce around. Okay,
exactly.
makes sense.
So you have an elastic gear, it just stabilizes everything. And then you're able to take pictures if you want to. And again, it doesn't require any assembly. It's very, very simple once you know what you're doing to take the holster in and out. This also comes in with an adapter plate for GoPro. So that allows you to, any GoPro accessory basically would slide and lock into this plate, and that plate would slide and lock right into here.
And is that how, earlier he had a water bottle on there, is that what you're using, a GoPro adapter?
Yeah, so that's not out yet.
Oh, you're actually making them, he'll be back. But you got to see this because he was walking around with this. It's actually
so this is just in kind of like R&D stages, but this is something that's coming up. So basically, a peel and stick to any surface. So it could go. Originally, we thought about batteries, video batteries, or heavier items. Then you
get a light.
Attach it.
I could picture filming and having just a small LED video.
Right, no, absolutely. That won't carry anything up to probably 5 kilograms.
Yeah.
So this is very, very strong. And it has a very strong base. So this part also can go on belts. So I could, we imagine people actually attaching like batteries or things like that to their belt, and having more than one, you can have 2 or 3.
So basically what it comes down to when you're looking at Spyder Pro stuff is it's a very versatile system. Like I say, I know a lot of people who only use, for everything they're doing, their hand straps, their belt systems, only use Spyder Pro stuff because of the versatility of it. So Shai, thank you for joining us. Make sure you check them out. What's your website?
SpyderHolster.com.
SpyderHolster.com. Check them out again. Steve Brazel for the Behind the Shot podcast. We'll talk to you soon.
So now you kind of see what I mean with Spyder camera holster gear. Very interesting ways to have accessibility to your cameras and hang them on your body without any stress on your shoulders. You can check out all of their gear at SpyderHolster.com. Now, if you didn't make it for whatever reason to WPPI this year, you had a bad time last year, whatever it is, right? It's not very expensive. And even if you only do the Expo, the business connections, the networking that you get out of a show like this are amazing. Make sure that you go next year. Everybody that was at WPPI that I talked to really enjoyed the show this year. And I got to say, the staff really pulled off a good show. To Scott, thank you very much for everything you did to make it possible. Again, I'm your host, Steve Brazel. The next episode of Behind the Shot, we'll go back to the normal one, where we take a look inside the mind of a great photographer by taking a closer look behind one of their shots. As always, I'm your host, Steve Brazel. This is the Behind the Shot podcast. We'll talk to you next time.